Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everybody for coming on and listening to us today. This is your host, Carson Herlean, and my father, Greg Herlean today. Here to talk about 2025, starting the new year, what we're looking to accomplish, what goals we had last year, how we're goal setting for this year, and what we want to talk about and accomplish in this new upcoming year. And we have a sponsor today, Coco Joy or coconut water. We're both drinking this coconut water today. They're not actually our sponsor, but I feel like we sponsor them every week. So shout out to them. If you guys like coconut water, we do too. But we're pumped today, starting the new year. And I wanted to ask you, how did you finish 2024? What were some big, some goals that you hit, things you didn't hit, anything that happened at the end of the year that you were pumped about, or starting your next year, 2025 off with?
Yeah, I would say, look, in this Generational Gains, this podcast, I think a lot of people like listening to it that either know us or have seen us speak before. Just to get kind of in touch with some things that might work for you in your lives. Mm-hmm. And so hopefully some of what we share today will do that. So 2024 was a great year. It ended great. A lot of family time, a lot of Jess and I time. We spent time in Fiji, which was incredible. I think the takeaway for me, though, as far as the month of December goes, is I don't think I want to travel in the month of December going forward. Maybe the first week of December, but after that, it's just nice to be home.
Yeah, we were both gone pretty much the whole month.
The whole month, and so it was great. The end of the year was great. I think if you don't travel, people probably yearn to travel. When you do travel, you're like, I just want to be home. I feel like that's a typical kind of feeling. But the year ended out great. The business was really good as well. And so because we did so much travel, I was really excited and looking forward to our first week of January to kind of get back focused in my workout regimen, my morning meditation and time, as well as financial goals and just, couple of goals. And so that's kind of how I looked. The end of the year was great, but I really got excited about the first of the year to kind of break in the new year about getting refocused in business and personal life. So it was good. It was a great year. As always, probably stressful, not only because of travel, but there's always something going on. And I think I like it that way. I think people have asked me, do you ever what's retirement look like for you? And I don't know. I can't imagine what that would be like. I like moving. I like doing things. I like being with family and friends. And so it was a great year. What about you?
Because I'm early in my career, each year I feel like there's a ton of progression, and 2025 was the same. I feel like from January 1st to December 31st, I grew exponentially in my knowledge around business and life and money, my wife and our relationship and our goals and aspirations. Like everything I feel like has progressed immensely this year. And I think I made more money in 2024 than any other year before, which is exciting. I also feel like I expected as I'm trying to build this up. But I'm excited to do that again this year and find new ways I can keep learning. And that's actually a big focus of mine in 2025 is education. I dropped out of school. I only did a year and a half-ish of college, and I had a couple different mentors teach me in different things, but I've come to the point where I'm like, well, there's a lot to learn still. And there's a lot of other aspects of the business world and money management that I don't know about that I want to better understand. And so 2025 for me, I want to focus on educating myself and being around different people, different ideas, different books and podcasts. And I want to go through different courses as well and really try and, again, teach myself more different topics to be better at. And so I can help my clients and myself be better with money. And so that's a big goal for me this year. And to start the year, I feel like I'm coming off of the end of 2024 where I'm kind of figuring stuff out. Like I made, like I said, more money in 2024 than 2023. And so I had to do other different tax strategies to avoid taxes. And I got to kind of kicked into gear with that in October, thinking I have plenty of time. October, I'm going to start thinking about this. I have 3 months before the year to get my stuff together. And December comes around and things are like kind of moving. I needed to buy 2 properties before the end of the year, and both of them I put under contract last week in November. And so I'm like, I got to get these closed and like ready by the end of the year. We were traveling, and it was just kind of crazy to figure out everything I needed to figure out and stressful. But I think I did it. I think I did the best I could. And so I'm getting ready for this year, new year now, and I'm like, okay, I got to be one step ahead of that. I need to be preparing for when I want to be buying properties, when I should be doing different tax strategies throughout the whole year and not just wait till the end of the year. And I think that's good advice for most people that have their own businesses, is thinking about that year round and having monthly money breakdowns and financial meetings with your team to figure out exactly what needs to happen each and every month. And I know you do that. So that's what I was going to ask you about today, is like, how are you preparing tax-wise throughout the year, end of the year? Because you have a company and yourself both make a lot of money. So like, how do you do that within your business and yourself? Like, that's a lot.
It is a lot, and I would love to say that I'm perfect at it or even good at it, and I don't think I am, to be honest. Our company is on point. Our company, we've got a whole financial team and division where I get weekly updates on our financial and transactions. I get monthly.
Like what? What do you get reports of?
All of our KPIs and on all revenue, all expenses, how we're spending marketing, how much in processing we do at Horizon Trust Company. I mean, I get and then they show comparison from the year and week prior. And so I get to see it, and then at the end of the month I see month and year prior. And so we're always trying to do better.
That's good.
And so from a company perspective, I love it. And my team are like cheerleaders when they see it, especially when they see the month prior, the year prior. And so we're all like working towards the same common goal, to be more profitable, do more transactions, faster transactions, and have great service. And so I'd say that from a company perspective, it's been great. I'll tell you where I failed is from a personal tax perspective. Now, the advice that I give most people is they should be planning their tax strategies and tax payments often during the year.
Yeah.
The reason why I typically don't is every time I meet with my CPA or accounting team, it costs me money because they're like, well, you got to pay more to the IRS. And so I would hate that meeting. But the problem with that is then I delay it, and then I only meet once or twice a year. And then I got this penalty that I didn't pay enough. And so this year, one of my commitments that are goals that I've made is I'm going to meet at least 3 times. I wanted to do it quarterly, but I think that could be overachieving. So 3 times in the year to look at my situation and meet with my CPA and be proactive on taxes. Why? Because I hate, around this time of year, come March, my CPA is telling me, okay, you're going to owe a lot of money because you didn't pay X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And I should have been playing it all along.
Yeah.
And so this year, I'm going to do that. In fact, after this meeting, I will set an appointment to probably do it in March for 2025, not just for. And so I would say that I need to do better. And I think it's also a common problem I see with most entrepreneurs. I think most of them feel the same way I do.
Because we're all go, and we can't sit back down and think, okay, I need to understand the numbers. I need to go through the financials, and that's the boring part. Because entrepreneurs don't have that mindset. They're like, I want to do this, and I have big goals and vision and all that. But you got to come back and figure that out, like you said.
You do, and it will save you tons of money and stress. And that's one of the things I talk about all the time. It's how you sleep at night. The better your life is, or the better decisions you make, the better you'll sleep at night. And I feel like when you sleep better at night, you make better decisions. So it's circular. Yeah. And so that is a commitment I'm making. One of the goals I've made this year to focus on financially. So I'm not great at it, but I do think most people are not great at that as well.
Yeah, and this is not our topic for today, but real quick, I'd love to ask how, because there's a certain amount of money that if you make, small tax strategies don't help you. You contribute to a 401k, not going to help you much. Contribute to an IRA, not going to help you much with avoiding taxes. So what are like some big things you can do at your level to avoid taxes? I feel like all the simple things everyone's taught to do works for most people, but like, what can you do after that? I'm always curious, like, what is there to do?
Well, first, I disagree.
Okay.
Contributing to your 401k and your IRA, not because I have that business, but because majority of America is making $300,000 or less.
Yeah.
$300,000 is a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. For those people, it works.
Contributing to a 401k or defined benefit in an IRA will save you lots of money, tens of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But after that, the other things are typically real estate, or there's these electrical EV, all kinds of different tax credits or investments you can make.
Like buying solar panels or something for,
or investing in an opportunity to invest in one of those the charging stations.
Yeah.
And those have big tax credits. Look, the problem that I've seen and I have failed at in the 2 decades of being in business is I get excited about opportunities that have huge returns or big tax benefits, but are not in my core competency.
Yeah.
And so when I do those things often, when I say often, 30% of the time probably, or 25% of the time, it doesn't work out as planned or I lose money.
Yeah.
So I would have been better off just staying in what I do
and
paying the taxes.
Yeah.
And so that's the advice I give you is if you've got something that works, double down on it. Double down on your insurance business. Double down on getting leads for your insurance business or in your real estate fix and flip business. You don't need to go out and do the electrical investment, the EV deal. It's not
mineral rights or whatever. You don't know it.
And I'm not saying you can't do it, but once you go test a couple of these things, because if you're a newbie investor, you don't know yet.
Yeah.
Test them, find who's a trusted partner, and then once you find it, focus on it. And that would be the advice I give you because I've made the error too many times of getting excited about different opportunities when I'm sitting right in front of my golden goose.
Yeah.
And so that is a common thing entrepreneurs lack and have problems with, is staying focused. So anyways, that's my...
And that's something I was thinking about for 2025 because the topic of today is how are we preparing for 2025 and goals and that kind of thing. And it makes me think about 2025 specifically. I want to have a lot of, I don't want to do what you just said. I want to be better at not being like a squirrel and like all these opportunities and doing everything. I want to calm down and hold my money, build up reserves, refill all my policy cash values and just like hold it. And be liquid for maybe end of the year to do a couple investments, but wait for the big stuff that's going to come around. There's no need to hurry and rush on things. I don't need to be spending time every month looking at investment opportunities. Like I feel like I just need to build up reserves and a foundation and like wait for an opportunity to come around that makes sense and I understand it and it works. But that would allow me to spend all my time on business and not worry about money.
Yeah.
And just to build up liquidity through the year. And maybe there is talk about economy not being great, possible recession and all that. And so I also want to be prepared for something like that if something does happen. I want to have 6, 7, 8 months of reserves in my hand ready to go in case something happens. I want to be able to buy a couple properties that might be awesome deals at that point. And so that's something for 2025 I'm focusing on is building up liquidity, getting a stronger foundation. So any ups and downs that come my way, I'm prepared.
I mean, that's sound advice for everybody.
For 2025 or just in general?
In general.
Yeah.
And most people won't think that way or won't even do. They might say it but not do it.
Yeah.
Unless they go through something hard. And so hopefully you don't have to go through something super hard to start acting and talking like that.
But that's why I think this way, because like in my head I'm like, okay, I have a good thing making money right now, but I've never experienced a recession. You've experienced one. I don't know what that's like, but I've heard horror stories. And I'm like, okay, well, if something's coming, I'm not sure how it'll be super bad, worse than 2008 and 9, not as bad, I don't know, but I have the money right now to build up reserves, might as well protect myself in case something happens, so I don't have to experience something like 2008 like you guys did. It's my first time, so I'm like preparing for that. Assuming something happens, I don't know, but.
Well, something will happen to either you or the economy, and it will happen once or twice or maybe 3 times in your life. That's normal. And so hopefully what any parent would hope for their child is that they've learned from their mistakes. And so when that does happen, you're a little more prepared than I was.
Yeah.
And I think you will be, by the way, because you're already talking and doing things differently. But that's probably what we all want when it's our staff or our kids or family, their families, is learn from our mistakes and or learn from history. And history does repeat itself over and over again. So
yeah. Coming back to why I want to educate myself this year. Like, I want to learn more about past stock market crashes and why the economy is the way it is, and how the central banks operate. Like, I want to understand that stuff better so I can better understand what's going to happen in the economy too.
Yeah, that's good. Well, one thing I was thinking about that we talked about briefly before we started, I don't know that we'll get deep into it today, but I do want to bring it up as we start 2025 is sharing your goals and checkups and financial situation with your loved one who you live with. Rather than diving deep, and us, we go a little bit deeper into this, something that I did this year, the first really year I've done this with Jessica. I used to do this probably like 15 years ago. I did it for like 10 years, and then I stopped doing it, and then kept it to myself for different reasons. Maybe I was embarrassed because of my financial situation. Maybe I didn't want to share it because it was too good or too bad. Mm-hmm. But recently we spent 24 hours basically, Jess and I talking about 2025. It's the first time I shared with her
exactly
what my balance sheet looks like, what my stresses are financially, what the debts are, what our mortgage payments are. Never done that. And with her. Yeah. And I hadn't done it in a long time. But I think it's important to share those things.
What was her reaction, do you think?
I think it was.
She understand it?
Yeah, I think it was really good because now she understands why I might be stressed out sometimes. Yeah. Or why I might say no to something, or why I might need to say, hey, babe, I got to go do X. Yeah. So because these are my goals. Yeah. And she now knows my personal goals. Yeah. My personal financial goals, my net worth goals, our net worth goals. She didn't know what they were before. Yeah. And there was some of that was because I didn't know that I wanted to share all that with certain individuals, even Jessica, because it's pretty private to me. Yeah. But I think sharing your stresses and your gains and your positives in a relationship is important. And I think even if you're embarrassed to share it, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised if the person that supports and loves you isn't there and is going to help you more to work through those hard times. Yeah. So I recommend doing it, goal setting, not just financial goal setting. I think that's one of them, but obviously physical, how can I help my spouse with their physical goals? Meaning maybe workout goals, or they want to go climb a mountain goals, and vice versa. So we did all that for 24 hours. And so I'm really excited about 25 because not only do we have it all organized, we spent deliberate scheduled time in this, in an island far away from here, basically. We now are going to follow up once a month and talk about it every week in our little weekly meetings. And so anyways, I'm really excited about it. I'm looking forward to it because for me, when you set intentional goals and you have someone else keeping you accountable and vice versa, you'll achieve them. Much more likely to achieve them. So anyways, that's what I'm excited about for 25.
That's cool. Anna and I are okay with that. We definitely talk about our goals. We definitely talk about our numbers, and she's fully aware of it. But I feel like she doesn't fully understand the significance of doing that. So that's something that we're working on this year, is like being more intentional with it, understanding the significance of certain things with the money and with our plans and goals, and making an emphasis on accomplishing them and going through them together. Because I feel like sometimes it can be a task, like, okay, are we gonna talk about our goals right now, or can we just watch a show and go to bed? It's harder to bring those conversations up unless you force it to. So that's good advice for everybody, I think. And that brought up an idea in my head, something I've been going through recently. Not going through, but I have a friend who's an entrepreneur too, has a couple small businesses, and we've been talking more recently about money and about finances and business and entrepreneurship, and just talking about our businesses together more. And it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it. I feel like we've helped each other with different ideas in two different industries. And so it makes me think too, this year I want to be more open, talking to just friends about money and business, because sometimes you don't want to compare, judge with friends, But if you do it in an open and honest way, I feel like, and you don't have to share every single number, every single idea, but it's like just openly talking about money and business more, I think is important, and no one does it. I feel like it's a bad topic and not something you should bring up with people, but I think you should. It's fun to talk about those things and encourage one another and celebrate each other's wins. Because I know whenever I tell him, hey, I just did this or got this new opportunity, he's going to be happy for me and excited, and it makes me more excited about it. So like that camaraderie, and it kind of builds momentum into those new opportunities too.
I love this for you. I just started doing this 2 years ago. Just 2 years ago, intentionally doing it, where I met with 3 people that are best friends of mine, and I told them, I want to intentionally plan a dinner or lunch with you once a month. And so it's not just
to
like
talk about business specifically,
everything,
just in general,
life.
Okay. Yeah.
But they're people that I can talk about, and you get those friends sometimes. I remember in my younger years where they were jealous. You tell them about your successes, and they were like, yeah, but they really weren't your cheerleader.
Yeah.
They were more envious,
and that's why it's hard sometimes.
Those are the wrong friends.
Yeah.
And so I mean, Pat's a good example. I've got a couple of them. I'm not going to name them all, but there's 3 in particular. We meet every month. And it's kind of sacred time for me. We talk about religion, our kids, our businesses, when we're going to sell, at what multiples, what's our goals. Like we talk, and it's nice hearing. And he's not in my industry. These people that are not in my industry at all.
Yeah.
And then he talks about his stuff, and so they've been some of my best times. Vitaly's one of those guys. We meet and hearing his perspective, what retirement looks like for him, because he's retired. So it's just interesting to hear what that looks like and how he's feeling and how he's doing, and is that for me? And so we talk about real specific questions and help each other grow. So I think that's a great thing for you to start doing, and finding who you should talk to. You
got to kind of find those people though. I've just recently found the first person I can really do that with. Mm-hmm. Like it's hard when you have big goals and big dreams. Not many people do, so it's like hard to find that and talk about it. And so I'm going to be more intentional with that this year, hopefully, and maybe you guys can and should too. And if your friends aren't talking about big things, dreams, goals, plans, then maybe you find somebody else to talk to with. So. Some good advice, I think, for 2025. Anything else for this year you want to talk about?
No, I mean, this was good. I think we can go on and on, but I think hopefully this triggered some things in your mind and some ideas that you can be doing, or just, a share that you can do, or DM us something that works in your life, in your business, that helps you grow in what you're looking for in 2025. So let's finish with you choose a sweet, sour, or service. You choose one of the things. Let's end with that today in the podcast.
Let's do 2, sour and service.
Okay.
Just change it up. And I'll start with service. This morning I woke up at 6 to go to the gym, and I remember the night before Anna had asked me to clean the blender because she wanted to make a smoothie in the morning. So at 6 a.m. before I left for the gym, I did the dishes. And usually I just get up and get out of the house and go to the gym, but I stayed and did that. And she texted me this morning and said she was grateful. So it's a good service. And no, I don't even know what sour I would say, so we can skip that.
All right. I'm going to pick a sweet. I'm just going to pick a sweet because I've been thinking about it since we started. In 2024, Colston, his younger brother, finished football and started working with Carson. Carson has started teaching him. Really, Cole had an option. He can go work at, In-N-Out or somewhere else, wherever it may be. And he's like, no, I want to work for my brother Carson. And to see him work for Carson and make phone calls and learn what a title company does, how it works, what an offer is at 17 years old, although today's his birthday, 18, has been probably one of the greatest inspiring and proud dad moments, is to watch Carson teaching Cole the ropes of real estate and how it works and begins. It's a huge suite of mine. I think about it often, and they're great conversation starters at dinner time to ask Cole, how's his calls going? Because Cole's calling mature 40, 50-year-olds, and no one knows that he's 17 years old on the other line, and he's learning School of Hard Knocks, one of the best ways of just building relationships. So that is a huge suite of mine I thought about a lot and continue to think about. And so I'm proud of you. I'm proud of Cole. And so that's definitely a sweet for me.
Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining us. We'll be here again pretty soon.